Hey, so I went outside to partake in a vice. It's a bad habit I'm not proud of, but it's what helps me get through the day. And at the end of the day, it's my choice, and I live or die by my own decisions. But I was out there, and I've mentioned this before. I live by myself, and I have this ability, all right? Call me Dr. Doolittle, if you will, but I can almost hear the squirrels and the chipmunks and the birds. It's almost like just by their noises, we can have these little conversations, with like the squirrels and the. I'm like, why do you want to know how often I bottom? It's kind of invasive. But I told him, and I told him exactly because it's a misconception, because I have this like flamboyance, and I'm animated and I make a lot of faces and I'm goofy, and people say it's you don't walk, it's like you're gliding, and they make fun of me, My nephews get a kick out of it. They're like, look at me, I'm Uncle Freddy. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But I was telling the squirrel about if I do that, I like guys that aren't like really well endowed, like they're not like on the big side and maybe not even average. Like I'll do average, but I have to really like you. And I really like, it's my personal life, I'm gonna keep it to myself. But if you're on the smaller side, like micro or a little bigger than that, like I'm talking like 4.5, 4 to 5, 4 to 5, 4 to 5, and I'll 5.56, I'll let it knock at the front door, But I was telling the squirrel, and I'm kind of like Snow White. I think it's more fun to sing to them. So I was telling the squirrel, if I find the right person and I see them and they're average or slightly above average, I sang to the squirrel and I said, I'll jump on that dick. I'll jump on that dick. And I was telling the squirrel too, while I was singing, I said, the reason gay guys call it a hole, and they said, let me pound that hole, or, let me see that hole, is because when you're still growing up and you've yet to experience your sexuality to the fullest, it's a crack. It's just a crack. But once you bend over for a man and he enters you, from then on, it's just a hole at that point. It's no longer a crack. It's a hole. So that's what I told the squirrel. And then I went back to my song. If I find the right guy and he looks at me, sends me a pic, and there's so much to see, something happens to me. I'll jump on that dick. I'll jump on that dick. I'll jump on that dick from the highest cliff. I'll land on that dick, spin for a while. Look at me, of course there's a smile, because I jumped on that dick. I jumped on that dick. I jumped on that dick. I went back to the squirrel and I went back to talking. And I told him, I said, yeah, once your crack evolves into a hole, like a transatlantic, newsman from the 20s and 30s is like, you jumped on that dick. Isn't that right, sir? Newsflash, New York City. That young faggot jumped on a dick. That faggot jumped on that dick. And then the whole town started singing, he jumped on a dick. He jumped on a dick. That young faggoty boy jumped on that dick. Thank you. Appreciate it. I live for the applause.